Guys, I'm gonna blame what I'm about to do on emotional instability. I've almost drowned in my own tears twice, and I've got about 12% of my sanity left. And if you know anything about my sanity, that's about negative 120% of a normal person's sanity. See, I thought it'd be a brilliant idea to reread Beautiful Chaos, since I was positive I'd sobbed myself out the first time, and I was now immune to the awful terribleness it can do to one's heart. I was wrong. So very wrong. We're going to talk about the female characters of YA fiction, and why y'all should stop hating. It's not that I don't normally feel the way I do about this subject, it's just that I normally wouldn't post a video on it, because I know what vicious creatures literary snobs and trolls can be, and how much they like to fight on the internet, where no one can see their faces or throw a punch. But I feel the need to stand up for my fictional friends today. It's that emotional instability thing. It's so stupid. If you ever talk to avid readers about YA fiction, most of them will tell you the same thing. That it's not even close to comparable to the classics. Now, I love the classics. I adore the classics. I take long, moonlit walks with the classics. But food for thought. Once upon a time, a lot of the classics were the world's YA fiction. Popularly loved and hated. Only now they're classics, so it's okay to like them. 100 years from now, some YA fiction will probably be considered timeless pieces of intricately written literature. Think about that what you will, I'm just saying. Anyway, I hear a lot of people hating on the girls of YA fiction. I'm really talking about young adult fiction today because what I'm about to say mostly applies to those characters and those readers. People say the girls are stupid, overly romantic, and just hysterical characters that serve as catalysts to a fiery love triangle, which is sometimes true. And when it is true, it's probably one of the most painful things to read. I know I should be concentrating on something super important right now, but he's so hot. My word, look at that body. I know the world is about to end, but I just want to be his love. Like an Adele song on repeat, except without all the Adele-y goodness, and a lot more slutty. And yes, those characters do exist. I dislike them. I do not enjoy those sorts of books. But get this in your heads. This is not the bulk of young adult fiction. You are all very, very quick of accusing female characters in YA fiction of these things. I see it in so many reviews, so many chat rooms, on Tumblr, on YouTube, on Amazon. And I can't stand the way people tear them down so automatically, without what seems to be much forethought. I'm gonna take a big chance here. Let's take Bella Swan, for instance. I hated the way she acted in New Moon. I would never do that. You'd never do that? Your vampire love of your life leaves you seemingly forever, out of the blue, so your frail human body can wither and die, alone with nothing but your sparkly memories. And you wouldn't cry about it? I mean, maybe we wouldn't all sulk around for months and months, but come on. I've seen you guys sob over a 5-second Hunger Games TV spot. I don't trust you on this. Bella aside, I'm just saying I wouldn't be so quick to call a character stupid or pointless or unrealistic. Girls, come on. We mourn the loss of boyfriends. We make mistakes. We say stupid things. What makes a character for me is what happens after all that. How a character picks themselves up and goes forward. This will not be a constant thing. You have got to allow them some humanity. No one in real life is perfect. Why would anyone write a fictional character that is perfect? Which brings me to this. MarySues. Unless you are 100% sure of what a MarySue is, please don't use it as a complaint against a writer or a character. A MarySue is a character with unspectacular flaws, if there are any flaws, used usually for the writer to live out some idyllic fantasy. I know people really, really like to use this word to feel like they know something about literature, but I should let you know the term is mostly subjective and doesn't have much weight in a legitimate literary discussion. In fact, it's taken as a bit of a joke. So please, please, please be careful how and when you use it. People are so quick to dub characters as MarySues, when 99% of the time, they're wrong. MarySues do exist in fan fiction and in the hilarious looking romance novels in the back of Barnes & Noble, since living out a fantasy is, kind of the point. I generally don't believe that MarySues exist in most published literature. Editors get paid to watch for those, and they do not let them slip easily. I do, however, believe in angry readers that don't approve of the way a character is written. What I find ironic is everyone is so quick to peg a female character in YA fiction as a MarySue because they don't think they have any flaws. But then they complain about the character's flaws. She's so needy. She's so heartless. She's so selfish. Yes, and those are flaws. Characters need those because they're human. Well, most of them. Humans have flaws. And characters that just happen to be creatures with humanistic tendencies also have flaws. Characters are just humans that live in a fictional dimension. Now, just because a character has too many or too little flaws for you doesn't mean they instantly qualify to be a MarySue. Not everyone on the planet has 10 million little flaws. Sometimes they just have a handful of bigger ones. The amount doesn't make the character realistic or unrealistic as long as the flaws exist. And you have got to give these authors some leeway. Folks, the world they write of is fictitious. In this, a writer technically has godly powers. They control the place, the time, their entire little universe, like creative little overlords. If they want to make their characters a little more snippy, or a little sadder, or a little more magical than the average girl, then who are we to criticize that? Some of us are a little more snippy than others, and some of us are just a little sadder. I don't think that's unrealistic at all. I think that's what makes good character. Now, MarySue's. Here's how you know that you're reading about one of those. If you say no, she's a MarySue. Does she have a personality? Really think about this one. If your answer is no, then your character must have been in a coma for the length of the whole book. If the book is published and has therefore been in the hands of an editor whose job is to scope for things like this, she's probably not a MarySue. You're probably just really bitter. Some people don't like YA girls because they do too many unlikely things. And to that I say, I'm sorry. Are you angry with the author for making their character too fictional? And come on, 99.9% of the time you don't mean unrealistic. You mean unrealistic for you. Because let's face it, we all die a little inside and or want to start a riot when a fictional character does something you wouldn't do. It's all about how you handle it as a reader. You can get angry. The author kind of did that on purpose. It's sort of the point of reading a book, to feel, emotions. But if you automatically dub the book as awfully written and bash the author, I rarely say that people are a terrible reader, but it's that kind of attitude that makes you a terrible reader. You can actually be a terrible reader. That's a thing. I like most of the girls of YA fiction. I love Katniss, Bella, Annabeth, Lena Duchesne's, Kat Bishop, Darren Sharp. Do I agree with them all the time? No. Do I want to slap them around a little at times? Absolutely. Very, very hard. But that's the fun. As readers, we're meant to empathize with the characters and sort of interact and feel, even if you're not agreeing with them all the time. Why would you want to agree with them all the time? That's no fun. They're not meant to be your identical twin. So let yourself empathize. Don't automatically label them as terrible characters and a writer as untalented just because they're not you. I'm just saying that we should cut these ladies some slack. Appreciate what makes them awesome. Keep their flaws in mind. Watch for character development and what it can teach us. Bella Swan's passion, Darren Sharp's bravery, Annabeth Chase's intelligence, Katniss Everdeen's sacrifice, Kat Bishop's determination, Lena Duchesne's strength. If you look close enough, you'll see that all these big or little flaws build up a characteristic to be admired. My advice is to read thoughtfully. Be careful analyzing YA female characters. If you make rash comments, it doesn't make you look very insightful, and you're not giving a lot of well thought out stories credit where it's due.